An 11-year-old walked into Judge Caprio's courtroom, as if it were recess. "Can we go? This is boring." His mother lightly tapped his shoulder, urging him to stop. Judge Frank Caprio glanced up from the docket. "Young man, I'm speaking to your mother." The boy just shrugged, pulled out his phone, and began scrolling. Before you see what happens when a kid disrespects a judge on camera, tell us where you're watching from and subscribe to Order in the Court. Today's lesson is for every parent. At 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday, Miss Bell, the court clerk, called the case number 2025-1184. City of Providence versus Lisa Johnson charges 3 unpaid parking citations and expired vehicle registration. Lisa Johnson stepped forward, 32 years old, tired eyes, work scrubs beneath her jacket. She held a folder of receipts and notices. Her son Jaden followed, 11 years old, fresh sneakers, designer hoodie, phone in hand. Miss Bell read the charges. Citation 1, Westminster Street, October 3 Road. Citation 2, Downtown Providence, October 9 th. Citation 3, Hope Street, October 17 th. Total fines, $450. Vehicle registration expired 90 days. Additional penalty, $120. Judge Caprio turned to Lisa Johnson. "Miss Johnson, how do you plead?" "Guilty, Your Honor. I know the registration is late. I've been trying to." Jaden cut her off. "Dad would have just paid it." The courtroom fell silent. Judge Caprio's attention shifted to the boy. "Excuse me." Jaden still didn't look up from his phone. "I said my dad would have paid it already. He doesn't let stuff like this pile up." Disrespect hit the room before the fines did. Judge Caprio placed his pen on the bench. "Young man, what's your name?" "Jaden." "Jaden, I'm speaking to your mother. You will have a chance to talk when I ask for it." "Whatever." Lisa Johnson's voice tightened. "Jaden, please." Judge Caprio refocused on her. "Miss Johnson, explain what happened." She inhaled. "Your Honor, I'm a CNA at Providence General. Double shifts most weeks. My car failed inspection in July. The repairs would cost $800. I had to choose between fixing it or keeping the registration current. I chose wrong. You chose to keep working." "Yes, sir. I need the car to get to the hospital. The bus doesn't run early enough for my shift. And the parking tickets. I parked on the street near the hospital. I didn't know the meters were active after 6 p.m. I assumed nighttime parking was free." Jaden muttered under his breath, "Because she never reads signs." The gallery reacted. Judge Caprio's voice dropped. "Jaden, you will not speak to your mother that way in this courtroom. Do you understand?" Jaden glanced up briefly. "I'm just saying what's true." "You're being disrespectful. That stops now." Jaden returned to his phone. Judge Caprio made a note, then turned back to Lisa Johnson. "Miss Johnson, is Jaden's father involved?" Lisa's voice tightened. "Not financially, Your Honor. He's 6 months behind on child support, $4,800. Does he have visitation?" "Every other weekend, when he shows up." Judge Caprio leaned forward. "And when he shows up, what does he tell Jaden about you?" Lisa hesitated. "Your Honor, I don't want to." Jaden interrupted. "He says Mom only comes to court because she likes drama. He says she could afford stuff if she managed money better. Someone at home was parenting with cash, not character." Judge Caprio looked at Jaden. "And you believe him?" "Is not wrong. Mom's always broke. Dad buys me stuff, new shoes, this phone, my PlayStation. He takes care of me." "Does he pay your mother child support?" "He says he doesn't have to. He says Mom can't make him." Judge Caprio wrote something down, his face calm, pen moving slowly. Then Jaden's phone buzzed loudly. The ringtone echoed through the courtroom. Jaden glanced at the screen. "That's Dad. I've got to take this." Judge Caprio's voice was sharp. "You will not answer that phone." Jaden swiped to answer. "Yeah, Dad. We in court. Mom's acting like she can't afford tickets again." Lisa Johnson reached for the phone. "Jaden, hang up." Judge Caprio's voice cut through. "End that call and hand the phone to Officer Rodriguez." Jaden pulled the phone away. "You can't take my phone. My dad's going to sue you. He said judges can't take private property." Officer Rodriguez stepped forward. "Collect the device." Jaden held the phone behind his back. "Jaden," Lisa whispered, Please don't do this. Dad said I don't have to listen. Rodriguez reached for the phone. Jaden jerked away. Rodriguez didn't grab or force. He just stood, waiting. Judge Caprio's voice was quiet. Dangerously quiet. Jaden, you have two choices. You can hand Officer Rodriguez the phone, or you can be removed from this courtroom, and your mother can proceed without you. Which do you prefer? Jaden looked at his mother, at the bailiff, at the judge. Then he handed over the phone. Rodriguez took it, powered it off, and placed it on the clerk's table. Judge Caprio looked at Jaden, then at the courtroom, then back at Jaden. 5 seconds. 7, 10, 12. That's how long it took an 11-year-old to realize this was not his father's weekend. Judge Caprio folded his hands. Jaden, sit in the gallery. Do not speak unless I ask you a question. Do you understand? Jaden's voice was small. Yes. Yes. What? Yes, Your Honor. Go. Jaden walked to the back row, sat down, stared at his hands. Judge Caprio turned to Lisa Johnson. Miss Johnson, I apologize. You came here to address citations, not to be humiliated by your child. Lisa wiped her eyes. Your Honor, has been like this since his father started. I know, and we'll address that. But first, let's talk about you. He opened the file, scanning the dates, amounts, and notes from the ticketing officer. Officer Kelly is here. Officer, please approach. A uniformed officer stepped forward, mid-40s, calm demeanor. Officer Kelly, you issued all 3 citations to Miss Johnson's vehicle. Do you recall the circumstances? Yes, Your Honor. The vehicle was parked legally each time. No fire hydrants, no crosswalks, but the meters had expired. The first 2 were downtown near the hospital. The third on Hope Street near pharmacy. Did you observe the driver? No, sir. I only saw the vehicle. Did it appear abandoned or neglected? No, Your Honor. It was clean. Inspection sticker current. Nothing suggested it was abandoned. So this was a working mother parking near her job and forgetting to feed a meter. It appears so, yes. Judge Caprio nodded. Thank you, officer. He turned back to Lisa Johnson. Miss Johnson, you came to court. You didn't ignore these tickets. You didn't make excuses. You told the truth. That matters. Thank you, Your Honor. Here's what I'm going to do. Your total fines are $570. I'm reducing that to $50. You'll have 90 days to pay. Lisa's voice broke. Your Honor, I will not punish a working mother for choosing rent over registration. You keep people alive at that hospital. The least this city can do is give you room to breathe. Thank you. Thank you so much. But Judge Caprio said, I will address your son. The courtroom tensed. Judge Caprio's gaze shifted to the back row. Jaden, stand up and come here. Jaden rose, walked slowly to the podium, and stood beside his mother. Judge Caprio leaned forward. Jaden, do you know why you're in this courtroom today? Because Mom got tickets. No, you're here because your mother is trying to survive, and you just made it harder. Jaden looked down. You are 11 years old when it's time to obey, but 21 when it's time to insult. It cannot be both. Silence. Your father is 6 months behind on child support. $4,800. That's money your mother needs for food, rent, and the car that gets her to work. But your father is buying you sneakers, phones, and game consoles. Do you know what that's called? No, Your Honor. Performance. Your father is performing. Your mother is working. And you cannot tell the difference. Jaden's lip trembled. Your mother is the one who feeds you every day, drives you to school, works double shifts so you have a roof over your head, and you just told this entire courtroom she's broke. Like it's her fault, like she's failing you. I didn't mean, you did mean it, because someone taught you to think that way. And that stops today. Courtrooms repair what living rooms ignore. Judge Caprio pulled out a form. Jaden Johnson, you are hereby ordered to complete 30 hours of community service at the Providence Senior Day Center. You will report every Saturday at 9 a.m. and work until noon. That's 10 weeks. You will sign in, sign out, and submit a completion log to this court. Jaden's eyes went wide. You can't do that. I have basketball. Then you'll learn to respect the person who pays for your basketball. But this is not punishment for poverty, Jaden. This is correction for disrespect. You treated your mother like she was worthless in front of strangers. Now you'll spend 10 weeks serving people who cannot serve themselves. Maybe you'll learn what sacrifice looks like. Lisa Johnson spoke quietly. Your Honor, he's only 11. Miss Johnson, with respect, that's the problem. At 11, he's already learned to disrespect the woman who raised him. If we don't correct it now, at 21 he'll be exactly like his father, and I will not let that happen. He looked at Jaden. Stand next to your mother. Look at her. Jaden turned to his mother. Her eyes were red, her hands shaking. Say what you did. Judge Caprio commanded. Jaden's voice was barely audible. I said she was broke. Louder. I said she was broke. I said Dad was better. I answered the phone. I embarrassed her. Now say what's true. Jaden's voice cracked. She's the one paying. She's tired. I made it worse. Lisa Johnson began to cry. Judge Caprio nodded toward her. You can hug her. Jaden wrapped his arms around his mother. She held him tight. The courtroom remained silent. If you believe kids should learn respect early, not at 25, subscribe to Order in the Court so more families can see this. Judge Caprio waited. Let them have the moment. Then he spoke again. Miss Johnson, you may sit. Jaden, stay standing. Lisa Saturday. Jaden remained at the podium alone. Judge Caprio looked at the file, then to the back of the courtroom, as if addressing someone absent. This next part is for the record, to the non-custodial parent listening to this case secondhand. You are 6 months behind on child support, yet over-present in your child's attitude. You've taught him that money equals love, that gifts equal parenting, and that the woman who sacrifices daily is somehow lesser than the man who shows up twice a month with a shopping bag. He paused. Money without morals creates exactly what we saw today. A boy who thinks disrespect is acceptable as long as someone buys him sneakers. That stops now, because influence is custody too. And your influence just cost your son 10 Saturdays. The gallery murmured in agreement. Judge Caprio turned back to Jaden. Jaden, you'll start this Saturday 9 a.m. at Providence Senior Day Center on Cranston Street. Your mother will drive you. You will serve meals, assist residents, and clean up. Staff will supervise. If you miss a session without a valid excuse, you'll return here and I'll extend your hours. Do you understand? Yes, Your Honor. Any questions? No, Your Honor. Then we're done. Officer Rodriguez, return his phone. Rodriguez handed the phone to Lisa Johnson, not Jaden. Judge Caprio looked at her. Miss Johnson, his phone is now your property. He earns it back when he earns your trust. Lisa nodded. Tucking the phone in her purse, Judge Caprio picked up his gavel. This court is adjourned. Miss Johnson, see the clock about your payment plan. Jaden, I'll see you in 10 weeks. The gavel came down. 6 weeks later, the Providence Senior Day Center submitted attendance logs to the court. Week 1, Jaden arrived on time, helped set up breakfast, quiet but cooperative. Week 2, assisted Mr. Leone with his walker, stayed extra 15 minutes for cleanup. Week 3, requested extra hours during school break to get ahead. Week 4, learned chess from Miss Rivera, began teaching other kids in the after-school program. Week 5, asked about summer volunteer shifts, expressed enjoyment in helping. Week 6, compliance excellent, attitude transformed. Miss Bell entered a note in the court file. Community service proceeding is ordered. Positive reports from site supervisor. Judge Caprio read it, smiled, and made a note to check in at the 10-week mark. 10 weeks later, Lisa Johnson and Jaden returned to Providence Municipal Court. Miss Bell called the case. Follow-up review. 2025 PK 1184. Johnson matter. Jaden walked to the podium with his mother. No phone in hand. No interruptions. He waited for permission to speak. Judge Caprio looked at him. Jaden, you completed your hours. Yes, Your Honor. What did you learn? Jaden took a breath. I learned that Mom's not the broke one. She's the one paying. Dad's gifts don't pay fines. They don't pay rent. They don't pay for anything real. And the people at the senior center don't care what kind of shoes you're wearing. They care if you show up, help, and are kind. And my mother, She's been showing up my whole life, and I treated her like she wasn't enough. But she's more than enough. She's everything. Judge Caprio nodded. Miss Johnson, has his behavior improved at home? Lisa smiled. Yes, Your Honor. He's been different. He helps with his little sister. He does his homework without being asked. He doesn't mention his father's gifts anymore. Jaden, what happens the next time your father buys you something and speaks badly about your mother? I'll thank him for the gift. Then I'll tell him she's the one who makes sure I have what I need, not just what I want. Judge Caprio leaned back. Good answer. He stamped the file. Immunity service obligation fulfilled. Jaden Johnson, you are released from court supervision. Your mother has my permission to return your phone if she believes you've earned it. Thank you, Your Honor. One more thing, Jaden. Yes, sir. The senior center called. They asked if you'd be interested in volunteering this summer. Paid position, 15 hours a week. Are you interested? Jaden looked at his mother. She nodded. Yes, Your Honor. I'd like that. Then it's yours, Miss Johnson. The center will contact you with details. Thank you, Your Honor. Judge Caprio looked at them both. You came in here broken. You're leaving whole. That's what this courtroom is for. Should judges be allowed to correct kids this directly? Yes or no? Tell us below. The gavel came down. That afternoon, Judge Caprio wrote a note in his journal. An 11-year-old insulted his mother in open court. I gave him 10 Saturdays to learn what she's worth. He came back a different child. Beneath it, he added, respect isn't age-restricted. Neither is accountability. Miss Bell knocked on his door. Your Honor, the mother left you something. She handed him an envelope. Inside was a handwritten note. Your Honor, thank you for seeing what I couldn't. Jaden is a different kid. I'm a different mom. We're learning together. Attached was a photo. Jaden and Lisa at the senior center, both smiling, wearing volunteer badges. Judge Caprio pinned it to his bulletin board next to photos of other families he'd helped repair. Because courtrooms aren't just for punishment. They're for reconstruction. He came in bigger than his mother. He left smaller than her sacrifices. Respect costs nothing, but it pays every bill a parent cannot point to. Months later, Jaden Johnson walked into the senior center on a Tuesday afternoon. Not for service, just a visit. Mr. Leone saw him and waved. Jaden, you here to beat me at chess again? Maybe, if you're ready to lose. They set up the board, and played. Halfway through, Mr. Leone asked, you still got that fancy phone your dad bought you? Yeah, but I only use it when my mom says I can. Smart kid. Not really. I had to learn the hard way. Mr. Leone moved his knight. That's the only way most of us learn. Jaden moved his bishop. Mr. Leone, can I ask you something? When you were a kid, did you ever disrespect your mom? Mr. Leone smiled once. My father heard me and made me apologize in front of the whole neighborhood. I was so embarrassed I cried. Did you ever do it again? Never, because I learned that respect isn't optional. It's required, especially for the people who love you most. Jaden nodded and moved his rook. Checkmate. Mr. Leone laughed. How do you always win? Because I've been losing longer than you've been alive. You learn more from losses than wins, kid. Yeah, I'm starting to figure that out. Lisa Johnson picked Jaden up at 4 p.m. He climbed into the car. No complaints, no attitude. How was your visit? Good. Mr. Leone beat me again. Maybe next time. Maybe. They drove in silence for a minute. Then Jaden spoke. Mom? Yeah. I'm sorry for what I said in court, for how I acted. You already apologized, honey. I know, but I don't think I said it enough. Lisa pulled over and turned to him. Jaden, you didn't just apologize. You changed. That's bigger than words. You really think so? I know so. They hugged. Then Lisa handed him his phone. You earned it back. Jaden looked at it, then at her. Can I keep it in my backpack? I don't really need it right now. She smiled. You sure? Yeah, I'm good. They drove home. In Judge Frank Caprio's office, the photo of Jaden and Lisa stayed pinned to the board, a reminder that respect isn't taught in one hearing. It's rebuilt one Saturday at a time. Dramatization for storytelling and education. not legal advice or reporting.